Hello everyone, my name is Legend Ronnie and this game is Rise of Civilization. What this video is gonna be about is nonetheless Mehmed II Spotlight. We just had the update, so I believe it's time to talk a little bit about Mehmed II. I get quite a tremendous large amount of questions about Mehmed. He got modified on the last update, or at least the update that just happened today, 31 of January 2019. So let's go ahead and let's debate Mehmed II. First, because he is a legendary, I have to say a couple of things about the legendaries. Now, many of you probably heard about them, but many people they are probably new and they do not know. The first thing is the talents. The talents work only from the main commander. It does apply to the second in command, it does apply to your army, but only works from the main commander. Well, this works for any commander. So this rule is for any commander. It is the same rule for garrison and everywhere else. Now the second thing about the legendary is how hard they are to upgrade their skills and their stars. Not to mention that they require the highest amount of experience. Now I have a level 1 epic over here. You're noticing that is 100. I go to a green one, we notice that it's 60. So they require the highest amount of experience, the highest amount of sculptures, and the highest amount of stars. Plus they have specific sculptures and stars. In order to upgrade the first skill on every legendary, and this is a general rule, that you should keep every legendary at 1 star until you max out the first skill. After you do that, you make that commander very good at something. You give him a utility. Maxing out the first skill on any legendary, you can see, for example, on this one, you're going to max out the amount of damage he can do on the battle. So this is a general rule. Keep him at 1 star, max out his first skill, and you only need 50 legendary sculptures. That is 50 legendary sculptures to max out the first skill. Now if you want to wait and max out the second skill, that's going to be your choice. It does help, but it's your choice. The second one requires 140, so that brings you to 190 legendary sculptures, which is pretty high. Usually I advise people to max out the first skill, then unlock the other skills. Then if you actually decide and you find this commander very useful in the future, you can proceed forward and upgrade his skills. You should only focus on one legendary at a time. This is a general rule for the legendary because they cost too much to upgrade and too much investment. Right, now if you want to upgrade his stars, his first 4 stars, they are very cheap. I would say you can do it with 50-70 stars roughly, give or take a couple, but 4 to 5 stars, I have to say that is very expensive. It can go up to 150 legendary stars, and I'm talking about the normal stars because it's the best way we can do the math. If you use bundles or the special stars, they require obviously less. If you go to 5 from 6 stars, I have to say that it is pretty expensive, and you can go from 400 to 450 stars, but that will unlock his last star. That will give him another 10 talents, and that's when any commander starts to excel at his highest, when they reach 6 stars. Now if you want to upgrade all his skills, after you summon him, there is a total of 690. Right here. Now before I'm gonna go into the talents, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about the commander, a little bit about the skills, and I'm going to do some pairs for this particular commander where he would excel best, where you could use him the best. Right, so his first skill, it does a fan shape area, so you can hit up to 5 targets. Well, this makes him an AoE commander when it comes to PvP. So if you plan to use this commander in the PvP, you have to classify him, or you have to use him in your AoE team. The damage factor is up to 1150. The other damage factor that he has is, it says here, this skill deals additional damage to city, garrison, and watchtower. So that one only works when you attack cities and they have a watchtower, or in the city garrison. They shouldn't put add, they shouldn't just put city garrison, it wouldn't be enough. So only when you attack city you get bonus from this particular damage factor. Now his second skill, increase the attack bonus. This means that it increases the attack of any troops, skill damage, especially if you're going to group him with another skill damage commander. Is going to increase the skill damage on that particular commander. So there you go, if you put him with another AoE commander, you get bonus damage on both of them. Then he has the third skill, which is specifically designated for city attacking, which grants you 10% chance to deal additional damage factor up to 1000. Then he has his fourth skill, which is very unique. I have to say that his fourth skill is very unique, and this is the first time they are introducing this into the game. No other commander has rallied army capacity bonus by 10%. Then troops capacity bonus, there are other commanders that do have it, but rallied army capacity 10%, that is very, very unique. What we know, we know that a rally can go up to 2 million at the moment. You can go another 20% from the alliance technology, and then you can add up another 10%, so that would bring a rally to maximum 2.6 million. Now probably wondering, bro, your mathematics is wrong. No, it's not, because how they do the mathematics is from the base amount. So if you have a max castle, your base amount of rally capacity is 2 million. So you add 10%, it's gonna be 2.2 million. You do the research from your alliance technology, that's another 20%, so it's another 400, that's 2.6 million. Or at least this is how I hope that they do the mathematics. Then he has his expertise. If you ever manage to unlock his expertise, I have to say that it's pretty great. It brings his damage factor to 1350. That is pretty significant. But then what is very significant is the damage to garrison and watchtower, and a 50% chance for additional damage factor. Well, if you put all this together, this is an insane amount of damage factor when you hit cities. Now it has his third skill, which is also designated for attacking cities. Then it has the fourth skill, which, as I mentioned, is very unique, rallied army capacity. Now if you want to ask me, my best advice where this commander is going to excel is in attacking cities. He become a very essential commander in attacking cities. Now let's say you don't have a 2 million rally, let's say you have a million rally, a maximum a million rally. This is another 100k troops you can bring just because you have this commander. If you have this particular skill maxed out, that is very significant. Then he has a lot of nuke. If you put it all together, he has his normal nuke that he's going to do it into the city. Then he has additional damage that he's going to do it to the garrison when you are attacking cities. So this does not include flags or passes or sanctums. This additional damage factor will only work when you attack cities. So in my opinion, if you want to ask me where this commander is going to excel the best, is in attacking cities. If you want to use him on PvP, as I mentioned, you can group him up with other AoE commanders. Now a couple of them that I would say he will make a very good pair. We can put Sun Tzu, which Sun Tzu, when you max him out and he obtains his expertise, he can hit up to 5 targets, has a significant amount of damage factor and a lot of rage restoration. And then another AoE commander he can you can group him up with Babers. But before I go to Babers, there you go, it's 800 plus 200 and additional 50 rage for each target. That can bring you up to 250 rage if you're going to hit 5 targets. But if you're going to make this AoE group, you have to keep in mind, because this is not going to be a tanking setup. This is the kind of setup that you want to hit from the side, or how to best explain it, you must not be targeted. So you have to join the fight, you have to join the group fight, because that's the only way you're going to be able to hit 5 targets. But you have to monitor if people are targeting you. If people are targeting you, then this is the kind of setup where you have to retreat, or you have to take it. That's gonna be 2 options. Because if you get targeted by cavalry, I have to say that your chance to retreat is next to 0. you're just going to get pounded. So yeah, it's an up and down. I like to call it glass cannon. This is what I like to call it, white glass cannon, because you either gonna kill it or you're either gonna die. You know, a glass cannon would just shatter. So you're either gonna fire that projectile, you know, get the job done, or you're gonna shatter in 1,000 pieces. So this is the AoE groups. This is why you don't actually see me using these particular types of AoE groups or AoE nuking setups. Another pair for him can be Babers, and Mehmed can be a second in command to this particular setup. Is same for Sun Tzu. Mehmed can be a second in command to Sun Tzu. Babers, what does Babers do? Up to 1000 damage factor when you obtain his expertise, 5 targets, reduce the march speed of the 5 targets, 20 additional attack to cavalry. So that can give you an insight that you can bring only cavalry with these guys, and that will give you mobility as well. Mehmed II on his second skill, attack bonus. So it does not mention specific troops, so they can work with cavalry. So there you go. More attack you have, more damage factor for your nukers. So with Babers, he can do probably one of the best AoE nuking setups. Another one, the reason I'm saying probably the best, because you have cavalry and you have mobility. So if you want to turn around, you have 50% march speed for 10 seconds, so you can actually run away. So you can engage the battle. If people are targeting you, then you're gonna bounce off, but that would be Babers to be the main commander on this particular setup. So there you go, you have a very nice hit and run setup. Hit and run if things go sideways. Another nuking setup he can make with YSG, but in order to get the best of this nuking setup, AoE nuking setup, it requires archers, so that will limit your mobility. And also it has rage restoration as well. So there you go, another great AoE setup. Skill damage bonus 50% plus the 20%. That's going to be tremendously high, and if you ever obtain his expertise, 1700. Well, this is going to be crazy nuke with YSG, but personally I would try my luck with Babers because of the healing, not the healing, because of the march speed. You're also going to slow your enemy, and you're also going to have a lot of march speed, so you can choose your battles. With this nuking, you have bonus to your cavalry, and Babers also have the skill talent pad and the cavalry, which is pretty good. I have all the talents of any commander on my Discord. Right, so this is about the AoE, some of the best setups that he can go with. Obviously there are other AoE nukers like Kusunoki, but Kusunoki only does up to 3 targets, and since we have so many other options with 5 targets, I would rather group him up with options that have 5 targets. Now this is for the AoE setup if you want to use him for PvP. Now if you want to use him for rally, in which this is why I say this is the top of the spear where Mehmed II is going to excel at maximum. Rallying cities. Not necessarily PvP. PvP is an option. If you want to do it, that's going to be your choice. But rallying cities, the 10% rally capacity, as I mentioned 3 times maybe, is very, very unique. Now how he could excel the best on rallying cities? With Julius Caesar. But there is a order of things, so if you want to use him with Julius Caesar, you need Julius Caesar as the main commander and Mehmed II as second in command. Why? It's very obvious. When Julius Caesar is going to use his main skill, it says over here, increase all damage. Increase all damage by 30%. What is that supposed to mean? It's going to increase the nuke damage or damage factor of Mehmed II. That means that when Mehmed II is going to use his skill, he's gonna damage with 30% more on top of his usual. So that's gonna be a tremendously even higher large amount of nuke. Not to mention that Julius Caesar can reduce the defense by 30%, that is correct, per turn when you attack other governor city, and the effect can last for 3 seconds. It doesn't have an internal cooldown, so if you're tremendously lucky, this can go in as well. So that can be quite a large amount of nuke on the city that you attack if you're going to group Julius Caesar with Mehmed II. Not to mention that strength in numbers, as always, 10% more capacity. So there you go. I would say that this is gonna be a really strong rally city team. Now let's say if you don't have Julius Caesar, or if you want to use this guy as the main rally leader, my advice as the other option to put a second in command with him would be Hannibal Barca. Why Hannibal Barca? Because you're probably going to use that rally with mixture of troops, so there's going to be more attack on your rally, and there's going to be damage and defense reduction to the city that you are attacking. Also, Hannibal Barca has a healing factor up to 1000, which is not that relevant, and 50% damage bonus. So there's a lot of damage bonus to your troops plus Mehmed damage bonus, so you can do a very good synergy with Hannibal Barca as well. Now if you want to attack other cities, I will not really suggest to group, let's say, Mehmed with Frederick, because you have 2 nukers, you have no debuffer, no protection, sort of speaking. Is like attacking naked, you know, glass cannon. So going with Mehmed and Frederick, I wouldn't really say is a good pair for rallying cities. This is why I mentioned Julius Caesar or Hannibal Barca, because you see Julius Caesar, for example, it doesn't have the debuffs, but it has the buffs, damage for Mehmed and your troops, or protection for your troops. So this is where I believe that Mehmed II will excel the best. Other variety of pairing can exist and can be used, but the synergy of the skill might not be as great as possible. Because he's a nuker, he can probably be paired with Boudica if you like, can probably be paired with any other nuker, Herman if you like. But is he going to excel at the highest? I don't really think so. So this is why I mentioned the pairs and where he's going to excel the best. Right, yo, now I've talked so much and I did not show his talents. So let me just show you his talents. And as I mentioned, any other talent builds that you want for any other commander, that I have all the picture uploaded on my Discord. The link it should be on the description of the video. So let me just pop the talents, which is the first one. So this is the rallying. Since I was talking about rallying and siege, this is his talent for rally and siege. I'm just gonna take myself out for a moment so you can properly see the picture. Now this is my advice if you want to use him as a rally. I mentioned this in many of my videos. I'm not very happy with the conquering talent pad. It doesn't really offer you that much, but when you want to rally some cities, there is a couple of points which I do find very good, and a lot of bonuses in them. Now if you want to use him for PvP, this is the talent pad that I would suggest you should take. He's too much focused on skill damaging, and this is what he's going to need: a lot of skill damage bonus. And this is the talent pad that I would advise for him if you plan to use him as a main commander. Right, so let me put myself back in. Now that being said, I really believe that I covered quite a large part of him. Another utility for him, but that is really limited. Let me just get into the game. That is really limited. I'm just gonna show you really short. You see how clamped up are all these barbarians around here? Now because he's an AoE commander and because he can do a lot of AoE damage, if you position him correctly with just one cost of action points, you can actually target more barbarians, so you can kill barbarians for free. I have a video for that which is called Free Action Points Barbarian. I was doing that with YSG. This is your choice if you want to try it. It does require a little bit of maneuverability and a little bit of time consuming, but if you have time and you don't have action points but you want to get more rewards, this is something that you might want to look into it. So Aoe group hitting barbarians, this is another thing you can do with Mehmed. Right, so I believe I covered everything. This is your boy Legend Ronnie signing out. Peace out, yo, and take care. I'll see you guys on the next video.